Hey, it's Bernard Nomberg with the Nomberg Law Firm. As one of the areas of practice of law that we handle involve automobile and truck accident cases. And I'm going to spend a few minutes in this video talking about really 10 different things to be considered that after you've been involved in a truck accident involving an 18-wheeler or any type of large truck that pulls or is hauling cargo. These are things you really ought to consider doing to help yourself personally, to help your claim, and to help if you pursue a case against the insurance company. If you feel that the trucking company is at fault, you really ought to pursue these things. Immediately after the accident, if you can, if you're not hurt in too bad and you can move, you need to get out of harm's way. There's no telling with those large trucks if there's the potential for fire with gasoline spills. You don't know what kind of cargo they're pulling. It could be something that's flammable or it might not be. But get yourself out of harm's way. That's common sense, obviously. That's the first thing. If you're able to, or if you have someone else who's with you who can, you need to take photographs. You need to document immediately what's happened afterward, after you've called or someone has called 911. You also need to see if there are any witnesses. At the very least, hopefully you can get their address and contact information. If they'll talk to you, that would be very helpful. But again, you've got to assess what are your priorities here. It all depends on the level of injury and danger and those types of things. But if you're able to do these things on this list, it would be very helpful for you. Be very cautious about who you talk to, meaning don't try to engage in conversation with the driver for the trucking company. If they want to volunteer that they were at fault or say those types of things, that's one thing. But I would be very cautious about speaking with the driver for the trucking company. Of course, when you're asked, if you're asked by the police or the trooper, whoever it is in law enforcement, you certainly should tell the truth and tell them your side of the version of what happened. And be always be truthful. After the accident has been cleared, if you need to go to the doctor, please do so. Your health is the most important thing. You can worry about the finances and costs later on. I would, along those lines, if you've been injured while you're on the job, while you're working, you must notify your employer as well. Do so as timely as possible to give them notice in case you also, in addition to having a motor vehicle collision negligence type claim, you may also have a workers' compensation claim to pursue as well. Document all of your visits. Keep a running diary of all the visits and stay organized with the calendar so you'll make sure that you see all your doctors. And then lastly, and please don't let too much time go by, it's very difficult for an injured person to handle a claim on their own. You really should seek the counsel of experienced attorneys who handle these type matters. They can then explain how the laws work, the strategies involved, and so forth. If you have questions or concerns, or if you've been injured in this type of an accident with a large truck or an 18-wheeler, please give us a call. We've handled many of these cases over the years. 205-930-6900 is our office number. Nomberglaw.com is our website. We can also be found on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.